In the heart of the Shaw neighborhood in Washington, D.C., resides a very special building, the old 12th Street Y. Although the building is closed now, it once was a place where ordinary people gathered and encountered extraordinary examples of how to live. People like Elgin Baylor, Dr. Charles Drew, the poet Langston Hughes, Coach John Thompson, and Justice Thurgood Marshall. How did celebrated leaders like these begin to form their ideals and dreams? To answer that question, young members of today's Anthony Bowen YMCA after-school program, the 3 O'Clock Club, worked with the Woolly Mammoth Theatre Company Arts Project. Christina Acker, Sade Carter, Jamila Gladney Griffins, Atiya Haynes, Levy Hicks, Sherman Jenkins, James J.J. Jones, Lashelle Jones, Vandi Pessima, Ahisha Walker, and Janet Williams learn to use video cameras, conduct interviews, and do historical research to discover the story of their Y, the first African-American YMCA in the nation.
We're going back to the roots of the old Y, 12th Street Y, and trying to learn things people know that we didn't know. And we've interviewed some people, some elders, some young ones that knew about the Y, that went to the Y then.
The 3 O'Clock Club interviewed former Washington Metropolitan YMCA President Thomas Hargrave. Mr. Hargrave has written a novel about Anthony Bowen, the man who founded their YMCA. He told them that Bowen began life as a slave in Prince George's County, Maryland.
He didn't want to be anybody's property. He wanted to be a free human being.
Bowen worked from the age of 14 to 21 to buy his freedom and moved to Washington, where he found a job with the federal government.
He worked in the patent office. He became the first African American to rise to the position of clerk. Well, in 1852, 3 young white men started a Y. One of them worked in the patent office with Anthony Bowen, and apparently they told Anthony about their Y. They gave Anthony Bowen a copy of their Constitution, and he said, well, I think I'll start a chapter called the YMCA, and he got some young men together, and they started a chapter here in Washington.
Anthony Bowen founded the first YMCA in the nation for African Americans in 1853, 10 years before the Emancipation Proclamation. Bowen's YMCA Constitution began, "We, the colored young men of Washington, feeling deeply interested in the mental and moral improvement of our race and for our social and spiritual welfare and unity of action, adopt for our united government the following Constitution." The 3 O'Clock Club visited the Martin Luther King Jr. Library, where they found that the pursuit of these high ideals led to great deeds. After 1900, there was a surge of interest in the YMCA that Anthony Bowen founded. In 1907, a campaign began to build a full-service YMCA building for African Americans. Recognizing the potential of President Theodore Roosevelt helped to raise money and laid the cornerstone. The black community launched an enormous fundraising campaign, reaching deeply into their pockets to raise thousands of dollars. Philanthropist Julius Rosenwald and John D. Rockefeller donated matching funds.
H.W. Chase, who gave $500 to the Y.
It was donations from people like Mr. Chase, an ex-slave, which made the drive a success. In all, $100,000 was raised, making this the largest fundraising effort to be undertaken by the African American community. 1 year after opening, in 1913, the 12th Street YMCA quickly became the hub of Washington's black community, the Y continued to support itself through membership drives. The 3 O'Clock Club traveled to the Moreland Spingarn Research Center at Howard University to read firsthand some original documents from this historic era. Assistant Chief Librarian Dr. Janet Sims Wood welcomed them.
A Christian organization, an educational institution, a social center, a health resort.
The greatest asset of the colored race, the boys, the man of tomorrow, must be morally as well as mentally and physically powerful.
The 3 O'Clock Club interviewed Samuel Buck Covington, who joined the 12th Street Y in 1929 when he was 13 years old. His father brought him to the Y the day after his mother died because he wanted Buck to have a safe place to play while he was at work. At the Y, Buck found mentors, made lifelong friends, and became a superior athlete. 67 years later, he's still a member of the Y.
At that particular time, folks, the only place that black people could swim was at Dunbar High School and the YMCA. Kids came from all over Washington to the YMCA to swim summer and winter, girls and boys. Now, at the Y then we had people living in the Y, and they had dormitories there. We had teachers living in the Y. We had lawyers living in the YMCA. See? And those men set a tone of how we were to live. The Y taught values. Had not it been for the Y, God knows what I would have been. Because even my father died, right after I left high school. And then I was just on my own.
Do you know someone by the name Fats Walker?
Fats Walker? Yes. He taught swimming, he taught boxing, he taught wrestling. Very kind and helpful with us and encouraging us in everything we did. Just about every person who learned how to swim back in those days, Fats Walker taught.
What was it like playing football at the 12th Street Y? Did y'all have sport called football?
We played on a little lot, about 3 times as big as this room, something like that. The little church lot there now, just on the side. We played there and we learned the fundamentals, learned the skills. By the time we finished junior high school and went to high school, 6 guys went to high school. They made the football team, the baseball team, and the basketball team their very first year from the training that they got at the 12th Street YMCA.
Can you tell us something about Camp Dickman?
Oh, at Camp Dickman we had a huge camp, and we learned how to sing, we learned how to get along with each other, we learned how to wrestle, we learned how to swim, and it was wonderful. And you learned how to share things with each other.
Did you enjoy it?
Love camping. Camping helped to make me the man I am today.
His camp experiences and the influence of mentors like Fats Walker inspired Buck Covington to become a counselor and a teacher himself. Buck Covington still meets with the friends he made at the 12th Street Y. The group, affectionately called the Y Guys, continues to meet today.
Next week, our little group is going to meet together, and we've been friends for 60 years. And we just meet to talk. And we came together because of the friendships we formed and learned at the Y, and still together.
Some things haven't changed. Many of the same activities still occur at the Anthony Bowen YMCA. Atiya Haynes told Mr. Covington about their 3 O'Clock Club.
The 3 O'Clock Club is when they pick us up from school. We come here, have a snack. We do our homework till like 5 o'clock. Then, after that, we either go to the gym to play basketball or jump rope, or we go outside when it's nice outside to play football, kickball. And sometimes we draw, and we have a weekend fun club here. They have sleepovers, they go bowling. We go skating. Sometimes they have pool parties.
Good. And the best time of your life.
Oscar Haynes volunteered for the Y from 1950 to 1980, serving on the Y's board of managers and as an editor of the Y's newsletter, The Y Emblem. Mr. Haynes took the 3 o'clock club on a tour of the old 12th Street Y building.
When you got here, you would show your membership card to the person on the desk in charge of the day. And also, years ago, men lived here. And for $4 a week, they had a nice room with the linen and everything. There were instructions for ballroom dancing. That was in this room. All the membership rallies were held in here. In here we had a billiard table, pool table, and it was just sort of a room to come in and relax. This was the lounge where the men would come. We had newspapers, books, etc. to read.
Lots of men stayed in the Y at a time when segregation limited housing available for African Americans. In the 1920s, when Langston Hughes lived in Washington, he stayed in the Y. In its heyday, the 12th Street Y was complete with a swimming pool, bowling alley, barber shop, full-service snack bar, and ample meeting rooms. Its gym had a 2-story running track and a basketball court.
Where's the pool?
The pool's on.
After checking out the gym, they tried out some moves of their own. One of the 12th Street Y's most famous clubs, the Photograph Club, still exists today. John H. Pinkert has been a member of the club since it first began.
This was taken in June of 1940. All our cameras are sitting down in here.
You on here?
Yes, I'm on there.
Middle row.
Aha, that's me. I was only 29 then.
The Photograph Club opened the doors for many to develop careers in photography, including Ellsworth Davis, who later became the first African American to work as a photographer for the Washington Post.
What do you think your life would be like if you didn't go to the YMCA?
I wouldn't have been a member of the club at the Y. I wouldn't have had the facilities, for making pictures. And I think I would have missed a lot of really interesting activities if the Y hadn't been there. And certainly wouldn't have met a lot of the fine people that I met. And the things we did at the Y were usually useful to the community. We took pictures of activities at the Y and some of the activities in the community.
Norris Dodson leads the group that plans to renovate the 12th Street building and turn it into the Thurgood Marshall Center for Service and Heritage.
What do you have to do to save the building?
We plan to renovate and restore and bring that old building back to life as a community service center. This building in the early 1900s and 1930s and 1940s really flourished. It was a centerpiece for the community. It's where all kinds of events occurred that had really saved lives. People found themselves there. John Thompson told us that that's where his life turned the corner. Samuel Buck Covington once told me that too. And these are great men. And if you don't have the grounds where these great men are made, then a community suffers.
Mr. Dodson shared his memories of the Y. Every Saturday he went there to play basketball.
Were you very good in basketball?
I think I was more of an average player. I could run pretty fast, and I could dribble well, but my shot wasn't too good.
You was like an assist man.
I was an assist man, that's right.
The famous scientist Dr. Charles Drew went to the 12th Street Y. His daughter, Councilmember Charlene Drew Jarvis, told the 3 o'clock club about her father's involvement with the Y.
How old is your father now?
I would say he probably was around 10 years old. Yeah, so that would have been about 1914. They called him Charlie. And probably all of these guys went to school together, and they probably went to Dunbar High School together. My father was born in 1904, and he would have come to the 12th Street Y when he was about 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. So that was a very long time ago in history.
Do you know who taught him how to swim?
Yes, as far as I know, he learned to swim at the 12th Street Y, and he became a very good swimmer, and he and his brother Joseph, because they had learned to be such good swimmers at the 12th Street Y, went on to become lifeguards at Francis Junior High School swimming pool, and they taught a lot of people at Francis Junior High swimming pool.
At the 12th Street Y, Charles Drew excelled in swimming, football, hurdling, and track. When he went to college, he earned letters in those 4 sports.
That he followed the things that he learned at the Y. Can you say that he was a good sportsman?
Yeah, I can say that not only was he a good athlete, but he was a good sport. When you are learning sports, you are also learning something about sportsmanship, how to support your team members, right, and how to be a part of a cooperative group. And of course, those are the kinds of things that you learn and you never forget.
A minor setback as an athlete led to his career as a doctor.
Dr. Drew became interested in blood and blood diseases and blood disorders because he had injured his knee in a football game. And after he finished college, he decided that he wanted to study further and become a doctor and learn something about blood. Dr. Drew discovered that if you took the yellow substance out of blood, called plasma, you could store plasma. It would not have to be refrigerated. It could be used instead of whole red blood for transfusions, and it could save many thousands of lives. And that was a very important discovery for our nation.
James Bradford is one of the many champions to come out of the 12th Street Y. A world-class weightlifter, he won 2 Olympic silver medals, one in 1952 and the other in 1960. At a Y reunion, he shared his memories.
When you went to the Y, you knew that after all, it was the Young Men's Christian Association, and of course, certain things you didn't do, and certain activities you just didn't do, and there was a certain amount of decorum that you had to follow, and it instilled some values in you see. But it was just a clean place to go, where you could train and engage in sports and whatnot, not have to worry about all the negative things. It definitely helped during my teenage years, you see. That little weightlifting club we had at the 12th Street Y, we put out a number of champions.
Today, James Bradford remains a competitive weightlifter. In 1992, he won the U.S. Masters competition in Savannah, Georgia. It seems everyone has fond memories of the 12th Street Y. Cornetta Lee went there as a little girl, and today she sends her son Thomas to the Y's new building called the Anthony Bowen YMCA.
I used to go to the 12th Street Y all the time. That was in our days, the hangout spot. We go play ping pong, pool, and everything, basketball in the gym and everything. Just hang down there all the time, make arts and crafts. It was real nice, you know. That's why I support him so much and everything he's doing. He's in the karate class here. You know, he learned how to swim and stuff. Since he's been here, well, I couldn't get him to go under the water. Since he's been here, he's learned how to swim and everything, and play basketball. You know, it really does a lot with the kids. Also helping with their homeworks, the 3 o'clock club. They're really good with them. The counselor's really good helping them with their homework. I like that. Instead of just going home, looking, watching TV, they here doing a lot of active things, sports, because that's what the kids need. People to show that they care and spend time with them, do things with them. The Y is so good. It is.
I used to tell my kids when they were real small, I said, I'm beautiful. Kids would look at me, pick a little girl, I'm beautiful. I said, I'm beautiful in my heart. Look at my heart, that's what I am. And I always admit that and fail that. I've never felt uncomfortable around anybody, white, black, or anything, rich or poor. I've never felt that anybody is any better than I am. And I never felt that I was any better than anybody else. But I always know that I could do something. And you can be the same thing. You're making history right now. What you're becoming, gonna end up in life is what you're forming right now.
Makes me envision brotherhood, good sounds down a universal ear. Can you hear the music? Moving each step in stride with the heart commit to each other while we groove in a brand new world. Like the wind excites the leaves, let hope excite your mind, move it towards a new existence.
My name is Christina and I am cheerful, happy, responsible, intelligent, super crazy, trusting, interesting, nice, and able to do anything.
The night is beautiful, so the face of my people. The stars are beautiful, so the eyes of my people. Beautiful also is the sun. Beautiful also are the soul of my people. Cut. Like the wind excites the leaves, let hope excite your mind, move it towards a new existence, yeah, towards a new existence, towards a new existence. Towards a new existence. Oh, yeah. Towards a new existence. Towards a new existence. Towards a new existence. We're optimism.